Hey, Nature Kathy, how you doing?
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
Hey guys, what's going on? How are you doing? How have you been? Making sure, can you hear me okay? Everybody doing good? What's going on? Hopefully all is well. Today, for What If Wednesdays, I wanted to talk about there's a conspiracy theory going on that the world actually died. So I thought we'd touch base on that a little bit, see what's going on, see what you guys believe, see what I want to hear from you. Speaking of that, let me go ahead and put the link in the chat. See if that comes through. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it. So anyway, let me go ahead and start by explaining how hey King Batman, how are ya? What's going on? Let's see here. Okay. Get everything working right. There we go. Very cool. Very cool. So today we're talking about, did we actually die in 2012? And I did a little research and everything. First, I want to read this article. I mean, this guy did a very good job about explaining it. His name is Nick Hinton. And he asked the question, did we die in 2012? So he goes on to say, he's wanted to talk about the subject for a while and everything, but it does keep coming back up. It comes back up every once in a while. I'll hear people talking about it in the chats that I go to, and just in general of, did we die? And before I wasn't really much into it. I'm just like, whatever, you know. But then I started researching it, and it's pretty wild, because if anybody knows about the Mandela effect, why it happens, what's going on with it, why we think about the Mandela effect. If you don't know what the Mandela effect is, stay tuned, because I'll, talk about that for a little bit. But it comes together quite nicely, I will say. Although I haven't found definitive proof, obviously. I've been researching this a lot lately. So anyway, he goes on to say that, he's wanted to talk about this for a while, and he wanted to read over some old stuff, and he can't find it anywhere, which in turn is kind of weird, especially if there's articles that you've seen before. I do that though. I go searching for something that I read before, and I can't find it for the life of me. I can't find where I read it, when you know what I mean? Any, like, it's not in my history. But and it's really been frustrating. I'll go ahead and just read what it says. This has actually been really frustrating for me, because I have nothing to refresh my memory while writing this. I found a few things here and there that are helping me piece the puzzle together again. But I know there used to be so much more about this out there, which sure did. Everybody used to talk about it all the time. And now, you just can't find as much information out there as there used to be. So he says, I can't remember the first time I read I've heard this theory, but it's become somewhat of a meme. I did find a video of Max Lawn, that child genius from YouTube. And if you guys have seen that, this guy, or this little kid, talks about string theory. I've watched the video over and over again. But I don't think he's the first to talk about it. I think originally it was some girl. And I vaguely remember that, but I can't fully remember a girl talking about it. But it seems familiar to me anyway, when he talked about this. So, did the world actually end in 2012? Well, it was the year scientists at CERN finally found the Higgs boson, which is, the particle that Stephen Hawking predicted could destroy the universe, or in his own words, cause the universe to undergo a catastrophic vacuum decay, which means we would be stuck, right? So, well, what would happen if we destroyed the universe? Would we know about it? And it's a true statement. Would we know about it? Seriously? Maybe CERN accidentally created a black hole that sucked us into it without even us noticing it, and we just been living in it, stuck. Some physicists actually believe this is possible. I mean, if you think about it, technology has kind of slowed down from what it used to be, which I know that's relatively how things happen. There's a, scientist or scientifical things boost, technology boost, medical boost, and then it dies down, right? So you don't know, but you never know. There's an old cliche argument that nothing has felt right since 2012. He agrees with this theory. Maybe it's something to do with growing up and getting older, but ever since then, it seems the world descends more and more into chaos each day. Time even feels faster. Now, it's funny he mentioned that. I think that's one of the things that grabbed this article up for me, was because of the fact that I've noticed that in the past couple months, maybe even more. It might have been even about 6 months area. Like, I'll look at the clock and it'll say like 2:53, right? and I'm not doing anything. That's the thing. I mean, usually when you're working and you're, if you're at work or whatnot and you're actually doing something, time usually does move faster, right? For you, it seems anyway. But not even doing anything. Like, I remember a specific time when my husband was out smoking a cigarette. I was in the room, looked at the microwave. It was like three something. Went out to have a cigarette and we were talking. And I'm like, well, it's only five some or three something. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's 5:30. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't, maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. But I don't remember that time. I'm like, no, I just looked at the clock. I mean, did I look at the clock wrong? I could have. Definitely could have. But it was a shock value to me. You know what I mean? You get that, like, what? So that's my story of time traveling faster, I guess. So anyway, he goes on about there's some sort of calamity happening almost daily. Mass shootings only stay in the headlights for like 12 hours. But is that, how do I want to say that? Is it because we're conditioned for it now? That we only need the 12 hours to process what happened? But it is weird because, I mean, they used to talk about when mass shootings happen, they used to talk about it over and over and over and over and over again, right? They don't do that anymore. Did we all die and go to hell? I don't really believe that, neither do I, but some people do. Maybe we're just a simple, uh, maybe we're in a similar situation and the characters of the good place. Who knows, right? Like I've said before, I think we live in a series of simulations. Perhaps the universe was destroyed by CERN and our collective consciousness was moved into a parallel universe next door. It would be almost identical, and we'd never know. We'd never know. So here comes where we talk about the Mandela effect. If you don't know what this is, hopefully I explain it okay. In fact, there are people out there who report small differences in this reality and the one they remember before 2012. Now, when it comes to the Mandela effect, I couldn't remember when I started noticing the Mandela effect. So I said that I did some research online. And let me go ahead and get through this and then we'll talk about that. Um, so, this is a phenomenon often referred to the Mandela effect. Below is the most famous MEs, which was the Berenstain Bears. People remember it one way, and now it's a different way. So I think this is the right way now, the STAIN bears. But I remember the Berenstain Bears like this, just because I remember I was babysitting and I was reading the Berenstain Bears and I couldn't pronounce the last, or I was trying hard to remember how to pronounce the last name. And I always remembered STEIN because of the fact of a Stein. So Berenstain Bears. Some people remember Febreze with two E's instead of Febreze was one E. Some people remember Skechers with a T in there. I remember Skechers with a T instead of just Skechers. Looney Tunes instead of Looney Tunes. Some people remember the Looney and the Tunes being TOON. And JC Penney. Now, JC Penney, we all used to go to, and I remember it this way, with the EY. Some people just remember JCPENNY. So, I mean, that's kind of the effect, of that's what the Mandela effect is remembering something else that isn't quite right now in this reality. And the name, of course, comes from Nelson Mandela, whom many people believe to have died in prison in the 80s. However, to many people's surprise, his funeral was national news in 2013, and he lived a long and happy life. This is where it does get creepy. Mandela effects get much creepier. Some people remember the Statue of Liberty being in totally two different locations. The location being Ellis Island, but it's not on Ellis Island, it's actually on Liberty Island. Here's a painting depict showing the statue of Ellis Island with no other islands nearby. Was an artist just not paying attention? Did he like it better this way? LOL, I really don't think so. So yeah, the Statue of Liberty, they're saying, is on Liberty Island. I always remember it being on Ellis Island, but that could be me. I just, you know. But the strange part about it is if you go to Google Maps, well, there's a couple strange things about this because if you, let's explain this first. Go on Google Maps Street View. There's a few specific areas of Liberty Island where the Statue of Liberty is just gone. You don't see her. You just see what she's supposed to be standing on. Is this residue from the previous timeline? The account upholding these strange pictures goes by August Bartholdi, the designer of Lady Liberty herself. He's the one that designed her and built her. And the account also sports his picture from the 1800s and is Google approved. How funny is that, though, right? And this story here is weird because I do not, as a kid, I don't remember hearing about this. And, we study history, right? So we should know all these little things, but I've never ever heard of this. Apparently, right before the United States entry into World War I, the Germans committed the first act of terrorism on U.S. soil. It was considered one of the largest artificial non-nuclear explosives to have ever occurred. Why wasn't this told in school? I mean, yeah, it should have been told in school. That's all I can say about it. Especially because, they're saying this is why the Statue of Liberty's torch was closed down. So it's been closed for over 100 years, according to these articles. The Statue of Liberty's torch, let me say that again, has been closed and you haven't been able to go up there for over 100 years. Does that seem right to you? The only one problem is, though, people remember going there. And there's a little, they remember climbing the torch. There's even pictures. See, the only thing about these pictures, I would believe them, but to me, they look like old, video game pictures or something. I don't know. They don't look right to me. Maybe because it's just blown up. I don't know. What's your take on it? Let me know in the comments below. There's also a weird Twitter account, Statue Ellis Foundation, which makes no mention of Liberty Island at all, and a sports creepy banner photo of people walking up the stairs that lead to nothing. That is kind of weird. I mean, but Google Maps screws up. You know what I mean? Google Maps screws up. And then there's a whole where there's a video. See the Crocodile Dundee movie? This is the timeline. You see the Statue of Liberty over here, how close she is to the Twin Towers. Okay. Oh, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot, too. Well, look, Well, that's the Freedom Tower, where what it looks like today. So, like, the Statue of Liberty should be, like, right here. Kind of odd. So, it's a collection of Facebook photos where people have tagged their location at Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. However, the people are posing in front of and staring at nothing. It's really unsettling. I wonder if those people are looking back and going, where the hell's the Statue of Liberty? Well, anyways, a while back there was a viral thread on 4chan posted by someone who claimed to be one of the 23 scientists at CERN responsible for creating the Mandela effect. They claimed that the planet was destroyed and were placed in a simulation world. However, the thing that I thought most interesting was that whoever this person was described reality as being like a set of Russian dolls, where there are worlds nestled within one another, or like we talked about, simulations within simulations. And this is the guy that created simulations or multiverses is not something new. Obviously, we've always discussed stuff like that. But imagine a multidimensional spider web in early morning covered with dewdrops. And every dewdrop contains the reflection of all the other dewdrops. And in each reflected dewdrop, the reflections of all the other dewdrops in that reflection, and so on for infinity, basically. That is the Buddhist concept of the universe in an image. That's what the Buddhists look at when they look at the universe. See, I don't know if my mind can't wrap around that. I just can't. I mean, I get multiverses and other dimensions and everything, and I honestly somewhat believe in them, but my mind won't let me wrap around it. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So anyway, besides the Mayans, there were some other people who predicted 2012 would be the end. Okay. And I used to joke about this. I mean, guys, I really never believed in this, that we died or that and I'm not saying that I do now. It's just something to look into, another thing to research, another rabbit hole to go down, right? And, me and rabbit holes, I love to jump down every one of them. But I used to joke and say with the Mayans, with the calendars, oh, they stopped making calendars. Well, after all those years, are they getting sick of making calendars? Maybe they just got sick of making calendars and we're done with it. That was my whole thing on the whole Mayan thing. But I don't know. So one of these people was Terence McKenna. Well, he didn't necessarily believe 2012 would be the end, but he predicted there would be some reality rearranging events. He made the prediction use the time-wise zero formula, which I guess it deals with I Ching and putting it into a graph and looking at the pattern of the histories. That's weird that it's got my birthday, October 18th. I just noticed that as I was scrolling down. So apparently it culminates a singularity point of infinitive complexity. So it's showing that it could go any way. And then we go on to this graphic. To better understand this concept, you can imagine a tape wrapped in a spiral like you find in a VHS tape. Do you guys know what a VHS? I know some of you do. Time goes round and round in a similar and smaller loops until eventually it runs out. Is there another meaning to the end of time? When it comes to the Mandela effect and everything like that, I have another video that's all about the Mandela effect. Make sure you check it out. And I've talked about this place before too. Is there another meaning to the end of time? Preston Nichols, a supposed whistleblower who wrote books detailing the time travel experiments at Montauk Air Air Force Base claimed that he would never be able to time travel past 2012 because they could find no future beyond it. According to him, there's a very abrupt wall there with nothing on the other side. Whether he's a crackpot or not, what I find interesting is that he did this interview in 2014. Like, it's just strange to say, considering you've already made it past that date, right? I mean, what, 2012, that's an odd number when you're doing an interview in 2014. I totally get where he's coming from that. So maybe 2012, maybe we didn't die. We just took a learning curve. I don't know. It's just strange. And if you don't know what Montauk Air Force Base is all about, definitely look it up. I have a video about the video game that talks about that. But basically, if you know what Stranger Things is, that was loosely written about that base. And I got Spotless Mind. I don't know. I've never seen that one, but it's about the experiments that took place there. There's also a theory floating around that we've reached the end of history. The end of history is a philosophical idea that has been talked about by such notable figures as Hegel, Marx, and most recently Francis Fukuyama. At the end of history, events still happen, but humanity has reached the end of its social cultural evolution. This theory has nothing to do with time travel or simulations, but rather the stagnation of human progress, which it kind of feels like it's that way. Like everything's kind of halted and we're just like waiting for something. Do you guys get that feeling? I just find it fitting that people think that this is happening. It's kind of fits the dream-like purgatory thing. It's this theory I find that when trying to research the topic of the world having already ended, if you think fourth dimensionally or beyond linear time, we could say that the universe has already ended the moment it began. The end was set in stone, right? But maybe it's just constantly, I don't know, it's just crazy. So when I talk about the Mandela effect, right, I talk about when it started. So like I said, I did some research, and the Mandela effect was first heard of by Fiona Broome in 2009. So something had to happen between 2009, right? That's my way of thinking anyway. I couldn't find anything of 2012, but in 2009 is when CERN started, if I believe right. Let me look. No, it was supposed to, let me see. Hold on one second. Did I print out the wrong paper? Probably. So the day the world didn't end was October 10th, 2008. But it was supposed to happen in September 10th of 2008 that the world was supposed to happen or end, right? And that's when CERN started. So instead of it ending in 2012, if it really did end in September 10th, that tends to lead credibility to me because of the fact that the Mandela effect was first noticed in 2009. Wild, right? So if people don't know what the CERN is, it's where they found the God particle. Not the God particle. It's where the Large Hadron Collider is, where they put the two God, I can't think of the word. Of course, why not? Why wouldn't it be like this? No, sorry guys, it's crazy. The protons. So they put protons in each end and they collide them. Now, when I first heard about this, it scared the hell out of me because I'm like, why are they, it's kind of like a harp. Why are you shooting stuff into ions into the atmosphere when we don't know what'll happen? I mean, I get testing and everything, but damn it, this is our lives. This is our world you're messing with, right? So, anyway, when they did this put these protons speeding together, crashing into each other, they made a miniature black hole. So if we're in this time to be stuck, it would happen then, right? September 10th, 2008, the world was supposed to end, but it didn't. But yet, Mandela effect started showing up in 2009. So, what are your thoughts? What do you want to know about this? What do you think happened? Do you think we're stuck? Did we go down a black hole? So, yeah, 2009, it happened. It started with the whole Nelson Mandela, obviously, his death. And then between 2010 and 2014, people began reporting memories other than Nelson Mandela's death. 2015, this totally reached critical mass. That's when the Berenstain Bears went viral, everything went viral, and everybody started noticing, not everybody, but most everybody started feeling the effects of Mandela effect. So maybe the world didn't end in 2012. Maybe it ended in 2008. Something to think about. That's all there is. Just something to think about. It's crazy. Like I said, the more I research into it, the more it kind of makes sense. They got to mess around with protons and all that good stuff. Scientists got to know, got to know. Maybe they send us back in time. I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy idea. There you have it, folks. That's my take on, did we die? Maybe we didn't die. Maybe we just went into a black hole. CERN, I tell you. But yeah, so it would kind of shock me. I wasn't expecting like anything to come out of that. I wasn't expecting, I knew Mandela effect started roughly around 2009 when people started having the Mandela effect thoughts and everything. But I wasn't expecting to find out that in September of 2008 we were supposed to die. I mean, everybody's heard of the 2012, but I wasn't expecting the date where something was supposed to happening before 2009. So I was taken aback by that. I hope you guys liked this video. If you would, leave a like. Leave me comments. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this? Do you think we died? Do you think we went into a black hole? What's your explanation of Mandela effects? Are they just false memories? Go check out my other video about Mandela effect. I have a whole video of just Mandela effects that people do not hear about that much. And yeah, check it out. Hey OG, how you doing? I was just about to wrap up my whole take on did people die? Did we die in 2012 or 2008 as we found out? Hope all is well with you. That's good. That's good. Good to hear. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just an interesting take. Like I said, I wasn't expecting. You don't think that we've died yet? It's just an interesting, like I said before, I don't know if you heard me say this before, but with the whole Mandela effect, it started about 2009, okay? And people thought, of course, 2012, the world was going to end because the Mayans stopped making calendars. Couldn't be that they were just sick of making calendars. That's my take on it anyway. But when I was researching this about the whole 2012 and the protons and the, CERN and everything, the Mandela effects came around 2009. I didn't think of anything would come about me researching it until I found out about that. CERN actually started in 2008 and was turned on in September of 2008. Yeah, I wanted to see when the Mandela effect started and how it, how it came to be, where it came to be. And I did all that research, and like I said, it's roughly started around 2009. And like I said, I was really shocked to find out something happened in 2008 that could have caused our world to die. That could have caused, So it's very weird. It's just very weird, I guess. You know. So I wanted to bring it up and see what everybody thought about it and see what the opinions are on it, and because I love researching this stuff, but I want to hear everybody else's thought. Yeah, a lot of people think we live in a matrix world, and it's kind of, and that's what some of the people think about this whole did we die is because we got sucked into a black hole when they shot those protons at each other that made a mini black hole. And that's why it feels so simulated. That's why we have the Mandela effect. We're reliving stuff that, not reliving them, but our memories are screwed up because of this whole thing going on, I mean, there's some Mandela effects that I get, you know what I mean, that are false memories. I can understand it. Like Jiffy. I mean, we had Jiffy and Skippy, and that could have, you just remembering, Ippy and Jiffy, or, and not Jiff. But there's some that I just can't explain away. And believe me, hi, Papa Bear, how are you? I'm glad you think this is an interesting topic. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just very, very, very odd to me. Like I said, I wasn't expecting anything that could have possibly ended the world back in 2008. I wasn't expecting to find anything. And boom, it was like right there in front of me. Well, there you go. Gee, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, OG, not to, ask too many questions or whatnot, but do you, how do I ask this? Like, do you find the prophecies in the Bible coming true? If there are any prophecies in the Bible? That's exactly it, Papa Bear. CERN, yeah, because I wasn't aware that CERN was actually turned on in 2008. I thought it was 2012. That's why everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012, other than the Mayan calendar. But that's one of the things that I found when I was researching, and it was like, what? Excuse me? It was like, oh wow, I'm researching this more now. Because I wasn't one of these ones that thought the world ended or whatnot. I mean, and I'm like I said before, I'm not saying that I believe that now. It's just very interesting. And when you bring up the Mandela effect, starting in 2009 is when everybody started feeling the effects of the Mandela effect. And CERN was actually turned on in September 10th of 2008. Kind of makes sense. Okay, OG, thank you for answering that. Hey, Freaky Geek. Yeah, exactly, Papa Bear. Exactly. I don't know why that keeps happening, Freaky Geek. You should know. I mean, I know I'm bad and I don't usually start on time, like right direct time, but if you're still there and nobody's talking to you after 10 minutes, always refresh. Refresh is your friend. I thank you for coming, refreshing and finding me, though. So, yeah, exactly, Papa Bear. Exactly. A lot of our memories have been confused. Not all people, but some people. And it blew my mind when I sat there and was researching. There you go, Freaky Geek. I know. I know. It's crazy. I don't know why it does that. I mean, I get Restream, but I don't. It's just very odd to me why it pulls up double videos. I don't know. It's crazy. So yeah, of course, the first Mandela effect was um Nelson Mandela's death. Excuse me. Like I said, I do have other videos on the Mandela effect if you want to check them out. Um, and I get some Mandela effects, like I said, with the Jip and Jippy. Some things can be explained away of why we thought the way we did about it. But yeah, I don't think World War III is going to happen. I honestly don't. I don't think World War III is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be the end of times. I really don't. I don't know why. No, we didn't have a World War III for Geek. Um, no, this happened back in 2008, Freaky Geek. Exactly. Exactly. War is bad for everyone. But I honestly don't think we're going to have a World War III. I don't think, and if we do, it's going to be shut down like really quick. Not by our deaths either, not by nuclear. I'm just saying it's going to be, you know, for a while it was scary, yes, but yeah, I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I think something is going to stop it, and I don't know. I just have that feeling. Um, but no, Freaky Geek. What I was talking about with where the world ending, did we die already? Was basically in 2008 is when CERN started up, and 2009 is when we started feeling the Mandela effects, or was first noticed anyway. Um, and CERN, they created that mini black hole. So that's one of the theories, is that we got sucked up into a black hole. Um, and if you go back and watch what I had said about it, There's some certain things that, you know, it is scary, Freaky Geek. It really is. I mean, yeah, the big red button in Cold War. Yeah, definitely. It is scary. I mean, whatever happens, I don't know. I look at it as we're not going to know. We're not going to feel it, so to speak. I mean, I don't mean to make light of it, but that's kind of the way, you know what I mean? Detector boomed on this one. I can see your point on that, OG. I really can. I can see your belief on that. Definitely. And I can understand why. Yeah, I can definitely understand why you could believe that. Definitely. See, that's why with this channel it doesn't matter of the religious backgrounds. I like to discuss all that just because I think it's interesting what people's beliefs are, and I want this place to be a safe zone, like I said before, where anybody could talk about the religious aspects or their different backgrounds or whatnot and feel comfy doing so. You know what I mean? You know what's funny? It's funny you say that, Freaky Geek, because um exactly, yeah, we won't know. It's funny you say that though. My husband was watching a movie a while ago. This is years ago. Um, it could have been. It wasn't the end because that's a funny movie, but or this is the end. It was about the end of the world and about these two people that didn't know each other but didn't want to be alone when it happened. And the funny thing is that night, I don't know if I was sleeping and like could hear some of the movie or whatnot. I had a dream that something blew up the sun. And that scared the hell out of me. Like I woke up out of a nightmare. Like that scared the hell out of me. And I didn't see like it blow up or anything. I just saw something going towards the sun and knew what was happening, and it scared the hell out of me. That is true, Papa Bear. That is true. That is so true. But yeah, so like I said before, my whole take on this was, I when I first saw this article about 2012, us dying in 2012, or being sucked into a black hole, I was like, this is how I think. This is like I go from this subject to that subject to that subject. My first initial, I was reading the article, thought it was really cool, and if you go back and rewind out, that's what the article that I'm sharing. Apparently, not apparently, but you know what I mean. But anyway, I read this article and I'm thinking, okay, 2012. When did people start seeing the Mandela effect? So I researched that. That happened to be around 2009. And I wasn't expecting anything to happen that could end the world to happen before that. I mean, always know there's a threat, but scientifically, I wanted to know what could end the world. And that's when I found out the CERN was turned on September of 2008. So it just got really interesting for me. So yeah, see, that's what you heard about it in the 90s. The Mandela. See, now I got to go explore that more because the first one to coin that phrase was Finonia. Wow. Apparently, I'm going to start to stutter now. Fiona Broome. She's the one that coined the phrase Mandela effect. And she set up her website in 2009. That's odd that you remember it in the 90s or that you heard of it. That's so wild. Because the timeline is, let's see. It's close enough. I knew who you meant. Okay, she started the website in 2009 after a related conversation in Dragon Con's green room. Our original conversation was in that gray area between speculation and sci-fi. It was fun. We were talking in what if terms. From there, the topic has taken a life of its own, and you can find it everywhere. So 2009 is when I started this website. A few people commented, others emailed me with their insights. Most of the conversations were light and related to sci-fi concept and unusual memories. 2010 to 2014, people began reporting memories other than Nelson Mandela's death in the 20th century. Visitors shared anecdotes and informal theories. Generally, we didn't take ourselves too seriously. And then 2015, this topic abruptly reaches critical mass with the Berenstain Bears subject went viral, followed by other widespread alternative memories. I can't say that I have. Oh, gee, no, I have not read that. I'll have to check that out, though. So, you remembering the Mandela effect. Now, do you remember hearing about the Mandela effect? Or do you remember actually, how do I explain that? Did you hear it taking place or did you hear about it? Reading about it? Okay. I'm glad you understood what the question I want. Okay, OG, I will definitely put that on my list. I want to, yeah. See, the thing with it is I don't get scared by like horror movies. I mean, obviously I'm human. I have jump scares. Yeah, that scares me, but I mean, really physical or not emotional scaring is like unnatural things. Yeah, freaky geek. Well, I told you about my whole Fruit Loops experience. I remember Fruit Loops being Fruit Loops, and then um or Froot, right? As a kid, I remember them being Froot, and then Eddie bought me a box of Fruit Loops, and it was fruit, the normal spelling of fruit. And I'm like, well, when the hell did they change that? And then it went back to the Froot, and I'm like, I didn't know what the hell's going on. It's that room we lived in. I'm telling you, it's downstairs. No, mine was the word spelling. Mine was the word spelling of fruit. Yes, it has, Papa Bear. That is so true. But yeah, I had a mind screw from hell over a course of a month. That was crazy. I'm telling you, that room downstairs is a time. I don't know what it is. Crazy shit going on down there. All right, guys, it is 10:55. I thank you all for coming out and hanging out with me. I'm sorry, guys, if you missed the first part of it. It should be up soon after I stop the stream, after it does all its processing stuff and whatever it does. Or what YouTube wants to do with it, I should say, right? But I thank you guys. That's okay, Freaky Geek. It's okay. I totally understand. Electric Universe, I am going to try and I don't know what that means. I don't know what my Streamlabs means. But Electric Universe, I'll have to look into that too. And I will definitely, I will definitely check that book out. Revelation of the Seven Seals. Matter of fact, I'm copying that right now. Thank you all for joining me. I absolutely love you guys, and I appreciate you coming in. And yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime, talk about this. It's a really interesting subject. It's a really interesting subject. You be safe as well, Papa Bear. I hope you guys all have an awesome day. I'm going to go nap before I work, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's Oracle cards, Coffee and Cards Thursday. All right, guys, talk to you later. Thank you again. Bye.